You already have a brand. Even if you've never posted on any social media, even if you've never written a single line of your bio, even if you've never said this is who I am. Because here's the truth, your brand isn't what you say, it's what people say about you when you are not in the room. It's how they describe you when your name comes up in a meeting. It's the words they use when recommending you or not recommending you for the next opportunity. And if you don't define that story, someone else will. That teammate who only saw you under stress, that manager who never really get what you do, that client who didn't understand your value because you didn't articulate it clearly enough. So today, let's stop leaving your narrative to chance. Let's talk about how to build your personal brand more intentionally, so it actually reflects your growth, your expertise, and the leadership value that you bring. Because in today's career world, visibility isn't optional, it's your currency. So let's go, let's focus on that today. And hey, it's Maciej. Welcome back to the Phoenix Career Masterclass, where we break down your career not just by goals, but by strategy, frameworks, and action. In today's episode, we're focusing on the final evolution of your promotion journey, your personal brand. This is not about clever taglines you see all over LinkedIn. This is about how people perceive you, trust you, and remember you, and how that perception shapes your long-term career momentum. Your brand is not about selling yourself. It's about being so clear on your core that other people know exactly what you bring to the table and how you do it. So today we'll talk about how your personal brand fits into your career progression and how it connects with your learning plan and how to shape it through leadership, depth, and visibility. Let's begin where we always do, by anchoring in the Phoenix career equation. And if you want step-by-step framework and toolkit to redesign your career around your true value, sign up below. You'll receive a day-by-day guide to grow your career almost instantly. I guarantee if you follow it, everyone will notice the value that you bring. Check the link in the description to unlock it. You already know this one, but it hits different when we are talking about the brand. This formula is the engine behind everything in this series. And now, as you step into the leadership or executive territory, we revisit it through a new lens. Product is still the value you generate through what you know and how you work. Promotion is now your ability to multiply that value through perception, relationships, and ultimately your brand. If your product is brilliant but no one knows about it, your value stays capped. But when you align real expertise with clear promotion strategy, that's where your value compounds. The more people understand and remember what you do well, the more doors open. And at that stage of your career, the way you talk about your work, the way you teach what you know, and the way you others share your values on your behalf, that's what really matters. That's what drives growth. And that's what brings us back to the framework we've been building all along. You've probably started to realize that career growth isn't just vertical, it's layered. Let's revisit the product pyramid we spoke about in other videos. So 3 levels: problem solving, so your foundational skill set; collaboration, how you collaborate, communicate, and influence the business; and leadership, your ability to inspire action, navigate ambiguity, and shape outcomes through others. Now, here's the critical insight. Your personal brand is built on how you integrate and project all 3. It's not just what you do, it's how you do it, why you do it, and how others experience that. Now, pair that with the promotion ladder. Again, 3 levels: perception, internal visibility, especially with leadership team; networking, relationships across and outside of the company; and finally, personal brand, your external footprint, your professional reputation in the broader market. The first step, personal brand, isn't about being famous. It's about focus. It's about becoming a name people associate with something specific, valuable, and consistent. That's the path to real influence. Not just being seen, but being seen for something at scale. Now let's talk about what shifts when you move from leading people to shaping perception and building your personal brand. Because at this stage, we are not just building skills, you are building reputation. It's a little bit different level. And your learning plan, it has to reflect that evolution. So let's rewind for a second. Back when you first stepped into management, your focus looked something like that. 50% leadership and communication. You were learning how to lead people, speak with clarity, and drive team forward. 25% execution. You still had to get things done quickly and effectively. and 25% mental resilience, managing up, down, staying composed under pressure. That was your core at the beginning of your leadership journey. Then, as you grew more comfortable in that manager's role, the dial shifted a little bit. You still focused on the leadership and communication around half of your time, because at that level, your voice becomes your impact. Mental resilience stayed strong too, because your visibility comes with pressure and you have to shield your team from it. But you decreased execution to roughly 10% because your value was no longer in the doing but in inspiring action. And for the first time I introduced a core area mastery, and I suggested 15% of that, a signal that your brand was just beginning to form. Now, as you move further into strategic leadership, it's time for the final evolution of that learning plan. And here is what it looks. Leadership and communication still the core, 40%, a little bit less than last time, but still remains your engine, your presence, your clarity, your influence. It's how you lead meetings, inspire teams, navigate crises, and shape culture. Your style becomes critical. Mental strength remains important, even more important, but still at 25%. It's a little bit different now though. At this level, it's not just stress, it's solitude. It's decisions that have no obvious answer. It's holding vision when others doubt. It's having hope when others lost it. That's why resilience becomes leadership asset. It's extremely critical at this stage. And the last piece is your core area mastery. No more experimenting. This is your signature strength, your brand, the thing you are becoming unmissable for, known for, and is no longer optional. Is the foundation of your long-term visibility. And finally, execution. 10% still there, but by now your job isn't to get things done, it's to make sure the right things get done by the right people in the right way at the right time. And this is where the personal brand truly takes shape. That 25% core area, it's not just something you study in private, it's something you teach, share, document, and express in meetings, in mentoring, in your network, and yes, even online, because your brand doesn't just live in your learning journal. It lives in how others describe your value, clearly, consistently, and confidently. And if you want to lead at the highest levels, you need to make sure that you are the one writing that narrative and making sure that your personal brand is aligned with what you do on your day-to-day. Because you chose that for a reason. The reason that most likely was because you were really happy solving those problems. It was aligned with your career vision. So make sure that you are consistently building upon it now. Let me ask you a hard question though. If someone from your company left and joined another team, how would they describe you to a future leader? Would it be they were good at everything, or would it be like you have to talk to them about XYZ? Because that is your brand. And let's make it intentional. So here's how to shape it. First, define your brand pillars. This is that one area that you want to be known for that we discussed over separate videos. Choose things that align with your core, your industry, and your learnings. Then tell your story. Use your achievements journal. Share the narrative of where you started, what you've learned, and how you lead now. Finally, live it daily. Personal brand is not fake. It's something that you promote, something you advocate. Bring it into your one-to-ones, team meetings, mentoring moments. Teach what you know. Share frameworks, not just results. Finally, document and distribute. Update your profiles, refine your LinkedIn headline and summary. Start commenting publicly on topics that you care about. You don't need to go viral, you just need to show up authentically and consistently. Because if you don't shape this intentionally, people will fill in the blanks for you. And you might not like the story that they tell about you. So make sure that you take control over that narrative. So what to do next? First, write your brand sentence. One sentence, one focus. I'm the go-to person for, and I help who solve what. Make sure it's aligned with your career vision. If not, put both next to one another and decide what's more important and align both. Then define your learning plan. Are you growing in your brand space? If not, adjust now. The thing about your personal brand is the following. You always learn and will always learn. See the split I recommended earlier. I'll show you the next steps in the next videos of this series, so stay tuned. But remember one thing, you are to know everything at any time about this one particular area. You don't get to choose whether you have a brand. You only get to choose if you shape it or not. So stop waiting to be recognized, start being remembered, not for everything, but for the one thing that makes you irreplaceable. Because you've already done the work. Now it's time to make it known. Now if you want a full toolkit to walk you step by step through this process, subscribe and check the link in the description. You'll get everything you need to define, develop and promote your career brand without any guesswork. And I'll see you in the next video.